Alright everybody, welcome back to another edition of Oof the Premium. I'm your old uncle and host, Darren Walters, and it's great to have you here because I'm excited to tell you that, I've completed the expansion pack, and it turns out there were a few more twists and turns than I originally thought of, and so, yeah, so what's new is, I think we've already talked about companion plants, or maybe we haven't. Maybe this is the first time. Companion plants are going to be a special card that sits at the top of the board near the edge of the game board, and these are cards that you can earn over time, and when they're used in conjunction with beneficial insect cards, then you can do something special with them, which is, you can, well, actually, the details I haven't quite figured out. So maybe this video is a little premature, but that's okay, because this gives you a glimpse into the working, the process of working through these problems and trying to solve them, try to figure them out. Admittedly, I can't. I mean, it's just like there's lots of problems in the world that I can't solve, big problems, and we can't help but feel a little bit helpless in the face of forces and external factors that are beyond anybody's real control, right? And so I think a lot of human history in peace times is to figure out, well, what do we do to sustain this? How do we, how do we keep things from getting out of hand? And I'm not sure there's a solid answer out. I mean, you could talk to historians, you could talk to economic experts, and it seems like history really is cyclical. I mean, that's what Karl Marx was talking about, right? History works in cycles, and if you're not doing well materially, you're not acquiring wealth. I hate to sound like all of the human endeavor is reduced to you're making more money than you're spending, right? But that aspect of life does matter a lot. But so do other values like art and science and theater going and movies and film and music, right? So all of these things are important. They help describe the human condition, and they help us in therapeutically, right? A lot of us need therapy. But anyway, the idea is, with Ufta, the expansion pack, I'm not sure what I'll call it. It might be Ufta Deluxe, maybe. I don't know. There's a lot of choices out there. But I think the idea is simply that we're going to enhance the original game by including basically a bunch of new components that are similar to the old ones, right? And so in the farmer's market, for instance, we've got 12 new crops, but they're not vegetables. They're in fact fruits, okay? And what I haven't solved or figured out yet is whether or not the fruits should come from the bag first, and then what's going to happen is growers are going to have an opportunity, depending on how well they play, if they conduct a special maneuver or tactic or strategy, what they can do is they can, in fact, remove a crop from the market. And so, we want to hit pause and make sure you digest that, right? What do you mean, remove it from the market? Well, the idea so far in UFTA has been that you can manipulate the market, you can move things up or down, right, in order to try to achieve your goals and aims. But with removal, that's a whole new category that we're getting ourselves into, because when you remove a crop, that it completely eliminates the possibility of harvesting it, right? its value goes to zero. And so when you put a crop in its place, well, what are all the implications for that, right? I mean, what's it going to come down to? And so, you know, we've got to figure these things out. I haven't really play tested this. This is you know, still very cutting edge new features in the game, and so I don't know exactly what to do here. But you know, we'll discover it on our own, right? We'll figure things out eventually. And then okay, so that takes care of that aspect. The other thing we're doing is we're replacing the resource shop items. You got the disc, seeder, cultivator, harvester. We already mentioned in the previous game, or the previous video, that the essential equipment items are going to be replaced by the super harvester, super seeder, super cultivator, and super seeder and harvester, right? Okay, and so we're trying to figure out what are the other resource shop items going to be. And I've got my mind set on most of them. I don't know that I mentioned them in the previous video, but I'll be frank, I can't remember. I have to look at my own stuff. I don't know what I did and didn't include. But anyway, we're going to be replacing the resource shop items, and we're going to get this figured out. And we'll get back to you. And so the other elements, besides the resource shop items and the farmer's market, are the adversity cards. All right. You know, in the previous game, in the older game, it's 13 adversities that you face each game. Tremendous challenges. And what we're going to do is we are going to create the obstacle and opportunity cards, which I think I may have mentioned in the previous video, but here what we're doing is we're saying, so at the outset of the game, you're going to use the adversity cards in the growing season, right? The first growing season. So not only do you have a safe harbor or a safe zone for 3 rounds of play at the beginning of the game, you're also going to have a safe season, right? And after that safe season is over, then we're going to turn over these, we're going to shuffle these obstacle and opportunity cards in with the adversity cards. And now we're talking about a supremely satisfying game mechanic, right? Because now, with the obstacle cards mixed in there, the adversities are much greater. All right. I mean, you're going to be facing much more adversity, removing 3 crops instead of 2 in most cases. In some cases, you'll be removing equipment, right? If the twister hits, you don't want that to happen. And so all sorts of woes can befall you, right? So we want to be careful about all that. Anyway, so that's the obstacle and adversity cards. They get shuffled and mixed in with the adversity cards, and then we're going to go from there. And then, of course, we're going to have the beneficial plants and the beneficial insects piles. All right. On top of the 3 structure cards, right, which we mentioned in the previous video. That's the silo, the cooler, and the factory, right? Those will just kind of be trophy cards that you earn at the end of the game. But in the meantime, we've got adversity cards, and those adversity cards, you know, are going to make up the bulk of the drama of the game. Okay, so they're very important. We've also got 3 or 4 tokens to deal with. We've got the trade tokens, right? I think there's 8 of those, and then I think there's 4 wild card crops, right? And then finally, there are the gremlin tokens, which at this point in the game, considering the expansion pack, the gremlins are kind of a question mark because so far, all the elements in UFTA have been true to life. They really do match reality. I mean, you could go up to any organic farmer and ask them some of the stuff in UFTA, and they'll say, yeah, I mean, we dealt with that yesterday, as a matter of fact, right? These are the real constraints on farmers, organic farmers especially, but farmers in general. And these are the things they have to wrestle with and think about monetarily, feeding their communities and what that costs. So anyway, these are big issues, big problems, and UFTA the expansion pack is a big game, right? Okay, so we've got, like we said, we've got new vegetables, we got new fruits, we've got new resource shop items, we've got new adversity cards, and of course we have the addition of these special tokens, and I think that's going to do it. So I think for now we're pretty good. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you get a chance, and do check out the links to boardgamegeek.com, where you can purchase UFTA Lite for $60. And then, of course, you can also look to purchase the big game, the Juggernaut, UFTA Complete. But you're going to have to save up your money a little bit on that one, because it's the collector's edition, it's the limited edition, and we can only produce a couple of them at a time, right? And so, I don't know. I mean, I'm announcing to the world these new developments, but the reality is, if the entire world was aware of this and swamped our manufacturer, I doubt we could keep up with demand. Okay, so there's that angle too. There's a lot to think about, a lot more work and behind the scenes kind of stuff than I really realized I didn't know what I was getting into. So. Yeah, so in the meantime, just enjoy quality time with your family and friends, because that seems to be pretty high on the hierarchy of needs and things that matter in people's lives. And so with that, we're just going to leave it there. So until next time, everybody, take my advice, keep on playing UFTA, and until I see you again. Adios.